Hey guys, so today I'm going to be quickly going over the future perfect tense, or el futuro perfecto. And just to reiterate what the perfect tense is, the normal version. That is where you'd say like yo he hecho mi tarea ya, or I have done my homework already. So the have done part. You wouldn't say tener hecho, it's haber hecho. And after discussing in this video the basic rundown of the tense, I'll get into the tricky parts that teachers may try to fool you on and what they expect you to know by yourself in an honors class. All right, so here's the basic conjugations. All perfect tenses, and including this future one, you conjugate aber in the future tense, and then you'd add the participle of the verb. So the aber in the future conjugations is yo abre, to abras, el abra, nosotros abremos, vosotros abréis, and ellos abran. It's important to note that if you ever have to speak it, like if they do a speaking part of the test, the H is silent, like H's are in Spanish, so it's abre, not habre, nothing like that. And some quick examples are abre comido, abre hablado, abre vivido. So the autos, that's also part of the perfect tense, I mean. So here's some example sentences. Yo habré terminado la tarea antes de dormir. So you have yo habré, you take this there, terminado. So that's the participle of terminar. So because it's in the future, you will have done something. So I will have finished my homework antes de dormir. Or I will have finished my homework before sleeping. So I guess it's a little hard to understand, like the future perfect tense, at least in English also. But you're setting a condition that you will have done something by this time. So in this other example, en la primavera tu habrás estudiado italiano por 5 años. In the spring you will have studied Italian for 5 years. It's something that you will have done. So I guess just that's what it means in English. So here are some about the participles. Here are some regular ones. Comido, hablado, usado, duchado, cepillado, probado, pasado. And here are the irregular ones. I found this chart online. This covers all of them. And if you learn the present perfect tense or the past perfect, where it's like hecho or había hecho, it's the same as these. Here's some other regular ones that they don't include much, or they just have accents. Creer is creído, leído, caído, oído, traído, with the accents. Okay, so here's the tricky part that they don't teach you. That some verbs actually contain other verbs inside of them. So obviously hacer is hecho. Whoops. But what about rehacer, to redo? Like, what would you think for that? Because it has hacer inside of it. You don't say re-auto. You'd still added the hecho part because it includes hacer inside of it. So this includes deshacer, which is to undo. So des hecho. It's not des hacido. It's not normal. Because you have the hacer inside of it, be des hecho. So the same with satisfacer, which I know it doesn't obviously have, there's no H there, but it still sounds the same, like facer and then hacer. So that's satisfecho. Cubrir, that's one of the irregular ones in this box, is cubierto. So descubrir, to discover, descubierto. Then volver is vuelto, so that includes resolver or devolver, devuelto, resuelto. And then again, this is kind of like the satisfacer, where it's still very similar. And then decir is dicho. So predecir, to predict, predicho. Because you see decir inside of it, you conjugate the decir part like the irregular. It's now reflexive verbs. These are essentially the same. You just have to add the reflexive part. So that's the me, te, se, nos, os, and se. So me habré duchado, te habrás duchado, se habrá duchado, nos habremos duchado, os habréis duchado, and se habrán duchado. One thing to include also is that for all of these, the nosotros is the only one without an accent. Okay, so just going back, here's some examples. Ella se habrá duchado antes de ir a la escuela. She will have showered before going to school. The se goes in front of the haber. I don't know if it's always going to be like this, but in most examples, the majority, yes. So al llegar al restaurante, nos habremos cepillado los dientes ya. Upon arriving at the restaurant, we will have brushed our teeth already. So it's kind of the same thing. You just have to add the nos in front. Okay, so here's some verbs you think are regular and have irregular participles, but aren't. Just like quickly recap. Ser is normal, sido, estar, estado, saber is actually normal, sabido, seguir, seguido, conocer, conocido, caber, cabido, dejar, ir, tener, and dar, dado. Okay, so then lastly, I'm going to go into the difference between haber, estado, and haber. This doesn't work as well in the future perfect tense. It's more predominant or more affecting, or it affects the present perfect tense more, not the future. However, it somewhat changes the sentence when you translate it. So estado means been. So it's obviously not obviously, but you have the progressive tense and combining it with the future perfect. So habré estado haciendo mi tarea cuando llegues. I will have, that's habré, estado, been, doing. So, you have estar and then you have the yendo part, so like the ing thing. You're kind of combining those two ideas into one here. Versus if you take away the estado, you'd have habré hecho mi tarea cuando llegues. I will have done my homework when you arrive. So in one, you have the estado, which causes this to have the yendo part. In this one, there's no estado, so you change it according to the haber or the participle. So the difference in meaning is I will have been doing my homework when you arrive versus I will have done my homework when you arrive. The one on the right, you finish the homework when they arrive. But on the left, you are currently in the process of doing your homework when they arrive. So there's a slight difference. However, another example is like this next one. Habrán estado viviendo en España por un año versus habrán vivido en España por un año. Well, actually, there is a difference. So they will have been living in Spain for a year, which means they currently are, versus they will have lived in Spain for a year. That means that they have lived in Spain. It's kind of done. It's in the past somewhat. So clearly there's a difference between estado and then without estado. However, you can also have estar as the verb, so as the participle. Like here, you have haber and then estado just by itself, where it's not in the progressive tense or the ing. So habrá estado en Mexico por un mes en 2 días. So he will have been in Mexico for a month in 2 days. So there, you're not currently doing something. You will have been there. So it's just estado. And that's pretty much the future perfect tense. You're kind of fluent in it now. It's not that hard to study, so you should be good. Thanks for watching. See you.